Today's video is part of the Heidi Sonboul DIY for fall. Hi everybody, happy fall you all. We're going to jump right into this tutorial. So I have from Hobby Lobby these green velvet pumpkins. The little grapevine hearts are from the wedding section. I also have the beads and these sunflowers. I believe they were made out of wood. And I've got these little blue picks. These are all items we'll be using today, along with these metal hearts that were from a Dollar Tree item. And these hearts, they were from Dollar General last year. I have out my scissors, and I'm going to show you my copper wire, wreath wire, and my crocodile. So also you'll see my glue gun is there. First of all, I'm going to take the beads and I'm going to put them into a jar so they're easier to use. Okay, so next I'm going to get the pumpkins out and get them ready. I love these. They remind me of my mom. It was her favorite color to have accessories in. Now I'm taking those hearts that I picked up from Dollar General after Valentine's Day, and I am taking the string out because I am going to want to use the string later rather than just cutting them apart. They were actually glued to the string behind the little felt thing. Now pulling out the little grapevine wreaths. Again, these were from the wedding section at Hobby Lobby. So now I'm going to go ahead and roughly put this out, and yep, I'm making a garland. So getting an idea of where to put things. I have an idea of where I want to put this in my house. And so I'm just kind of moving things around, and there's the beads. We're going to add some beads in, or maybe we're not. So yeah, so this is how I get an idea of visually how I want it to look, and at the same time I can see realistically how big it's going to be. So I am taking out my wire. I decided to do something different. I wanted to put this together with wire rather than putting it together with like jute twine or string. And so I pulled out my copper wire and I'm cutting it into lengths that are going to be the perfect size for attaching all the items together. The wires are about 4 inches long each. So I'm going to go ahead and I am attaching to the grapevine wreath, and then I'm going to put 2 of the beads through on the wire, and I'm going to have it on opposite sides of where the pumpkin's going to go, because eventually the pumpkin's going to get added in there. So here we are going really fast, adding all of the beads to each one. Assembly line works really well. Now I'm going to use my crocodile and cut into the buffalo check heart, and I'll be putting the wire through and wrapping it around so that it's secure on there. Here comes the crocodile again. It is an amazing tool. You saw me just use it on fabric, and now I'm using on aluminum or metal. These hearts, again, these were from a Dollar Tree Valentine plaque that I used, but I didn't use the hearts. I'm going to go ahead and thread one side of the jute string from the bow. So I untied the bow on the little patchwork heart there, and I am going to retie the bow on top of the metal. And now I'm going to reach for the sunflowers. Now, I think these are made out of wood. I'm not sure, but they are very nice quality. These are the ones from Hobby Lobby. You'll see in a little bit, I'm also going to be adding in the ones from Dollar Tree, and I will show you the difference between the two. I decide to go ahead and put this sunflower down to the right so that you actually can see the bow and you can see the metal. Time to cut some more wire. These are going to be for the pumpkins so that I can add the pumpkins to the garland. And so we're going to cut out several. We need one for each side of the pumpkin. So I am going to see how I like it there. I'm going to go ahead and take the crocodile, and I am going to cut through one side of the pumpkin, just about 1/4 of an inch and maybe 1/2 an inch, and I'm going to put the wire through. It was much easier than trying to thread it through, but you know, I didn't think it through, and I'm having to glue the hole shut where I cut it. But it did make it easier, and gluing it shut worked out perfect. It is kind of a wrinkly pumpkin anyway, and now I can go ahead and attach it to the heart. I did decide to go ahead and put a bead on either side. There's just barely enough on this first one, but the rest of them I'll have plenty of time to go ahead and make sure they're the right size. So now it's just a matter of doing the same thing all the way across the garland. So we'll be adding the beads, adding the pumpkins. We'll add the metal and the sunflower to this heart. And I'm measuring the heart to make sure that my holes are kind of in the same place so that it sits in the same place on the garland. And I absolutely love the way that this is working out. So at the end of this video, I will link last year's fall video. These items are actually being made to go along with what I made last year, and to add into my living room and my kitchen and my home. And so I am so excited. So if you get a chance, check that out. Subscribe. I will be putting videos up as I make things for my own home. My other channel kind of keeps me busy. Dear Julie Junk Journal every day. We do a video over there every day. Love to have you join us over there. So here I am really fast. I'm finishing this one up, and it'll be just a moment, and I'm going to show you the final project. And here it is. Okay, for this project, I'm going to start with these cute little cement planters that I got at Dollar General earlier this year, and I absolutely love them. I wanted to, my living room is gray and yellow, and I want to use these for all the seasons. So for this one, I'm bringing out the Dollar Tree sunflowers. So I was able to get them in both sizes, the larger and the smaller. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this one to a toothpick for a little more strength. The wire wasn't going to go into the planter, and I wanted to make sure that it was strong and it stood proud. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap the wire around the toothpick, and then I will glue the toothpick sunflower into the little planter. Now I'm going to bring out the little sunflowers, and I'm going to use those for the pots on either side. And so we'll have 2 little sunflowers on this side, and I decide on these plants to go ahead and wrap my sunflower around and put those in. And that worked out just fine. I'll easily be able to take these out and switch these little planters up for Christmas after the fall season is over. I love the way these turned out. What do you think? So for this next project, I have these 2 rocks, and I have these pieces of a sage bush I found in the desert when Tom and I were volunteering for a night desert race. And so I looked for something that would sit up and looked like a pumpkin, and that was because I had found these pieces of sage that to me looked like little pumpkin stems. I thought they would be perfect, and they match my decor. Right here I'm trying to find the spot that's the right spot for the little pumpkin, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue these on with the hot glue. Where they're going, they shouldn't get touched or anything, so they should be fine. And so they're just adding those. Then I noticed that the big one is actually gonna break, and so I decided to go ahead and glue the sage back onto the big piece. I'm going to set them aside and look at them for a second. Now I'm going to bring in the little blue picks that I had gotten at Hobby Lobby, and I used this light robin's egg blue in my decorating for the transition between summer and fall last year, and then ended up staying in my living room through fall. And so I think I'm going to continue that this year. And so for these, I'm going to use that little robin's egg blue pick and bring that in. I am twirling the wire on the pick, kind of like a pumpkin would have, to bring the stem down closer to the pumpkin so that it looks like part of it and not that it's just flying out there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those pieces on. There you get a look at the big one. I'm going to be using the luau skirt or hula skirt from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make a bow out of one of the pieces. It has 4 strands, and so I'm going to make a bow, add the sunflower on to the top of this, and add it on to the pumpkin. This is one of the Dollar Tree sunflowers. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. I love the way these are coming along. It's exactly what I was hoping for. So I've got some of this really pretty green plastic fern, and it was, oh gosh, it's been around for many years at my house, and so I decided that it would be really pretty in my fall decor. So I've added a little bit in there, and then now I'm making a smaller bow, and I'm going to be using the smaller sunflowers for this one. And so cutting it down so that it looks more uniform. And now we'll do the same thing for the little pumpkin, just smaller. I love how this project is turning out. Imagine this, just rocks and sage bush. And I have this adorable little set of pumpkins for my fall decor. Which one's your favorite? And here they are. And here's a really quick project using the gray velvet pumpkins from Dollar Tree. And I am going to leave them just like they are. I've seen people paint them and everything else, but gray and silver are my colors in my living room. So I'm going to take some more of that hula skirt, and I'm going to tie a bow around the pumpkin and just get it ready. And I am going to do this without actually gluing this onto the pumpkin, because I want to be able to possibly use the pumpkin in another way if I need to. I'm going to go ahead, and there's that greenery again. You'll see one of the Dollar Tree pumpkins get added to this. This is the easiest, but it turned out so pretty. and looks amazing in my living room. Oh, remember I was going to show you the difference between the Dollar Tree and the Hobby Lobby sunflowers. So there you go, a little peek. I'm going to add a little bit of that blue into the arrangement there also, and I'm just tying it around the stem. And then I'm going to curl the wire edges with the toothpick. That is working really, really well for the scale of the size of this arrangement. I want to apologize for my arm. I didn't realize that it was showing up, but we had a pet emergency. One of our dog's collar got stuck around the mouth of the other dog, and when I went to separate them, they were very scared. And luckily, this is all that happened. So there's our cute, very fun, easy Dollar Tree velvet pumpkin with a Hobby Lobby sunflower. And the puppies are okay. And here we go. This time we have another garland. We are going for the thankful, grateful, and blessed. I'm using these wood words that I got at Hobby Lobby, and we'll be using several of the things that you've seen before. So I'm going to kind of play with what I have here, getting an idea of what I might want. I know that I want it to go over my couch, and I have things kind of flowing like you saw in the first with the first garland. And so I'm kind of looking at that idea. Then I decide that maybe I should use these burlap hearts, because otherwise they're going to go back in the drawer, and when will they ever get to come out? And so I'm kind of liking this idea. And then I was like, everybody does that, put the stuff together like that. So I'm going to go ahead, and here we're going to commit and add some greenery and our sunflower, and we'll do that to both of our hearts. I'm going to go ahead and add a little extra greenery so that it's flowing down. And my mind is racing at this point. I'm like, okay, how am I going to put this one together? And so stay tuned and see how I put this one together. Again, not using jute string. But my glue gun's getting a workout today. It's a brand new glue gun. It's just the little one from Dollar General. I don't even know at the moment where my glue gun is, my regular glue gun. It's been so long since I did a DIY. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tie my hula skirt in a knot. So it's one of the strands from the hula skirt. And I'm using my crocodile, and I'm putting holes in either side of the heart, just like we did before. This time I'm going to go ahead and string the pieces of the hula skirt, which like raffia, and I'm cutting it down so that it is a better point to go through, and I'm going to string it through, and then I'm going to tie it to the first word. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a little loop on the back of this sunflower. I'm going to loop it around the T in thankful, and that is how I'm going to attach it to whatever I'm going to attach it to. And actually, I do end up using jute string, the leftover from that heart garland from Dollar General. I'm going to get some beads ready for adding in between the grateful and the hearts. And I'm going to add this little tiny sunflower and use the wire from the sunflower to go through the hole in the heart. I'll bring it back and twist it around, and that is how I'm attaching those together. So we're going to go ahead and do all of the same things for the other side, and until we have a beautiful garland. So just so you know, these words are fragile. Be very careful when you're tying things on them because they might break. Luckily, the glue gun was right there, and so I used it and glued it back together and everything was fine. And so we continue on. So while we're continuing on, I want to again thank Heidi for this opportunity to participate in the DIY fall collaboration, and I'm excited to join in. Please check out the playlist in the description box down below for others that are participating. There are always so many great ideas and creators out there, and I want to thank you for stopping by and hanging out. So here we go. We're tying the last bow, and I'm going to show you the garland, and I hope you enjoyed that. But wait, first we have to add some of the greenery so that it hangs down and it looks flowy like I was talking about earlier. Then I'm going to add the jute string to either side of the garland, and this project will be done and ready to hang in my living room. And here it is. I hope you enjoyed this fall DIY. I want to again thank Heidi. I'm so excited that you are here. Do check out this wreath is from last year's fall video. The link will be at the end of this video. And so here are the items we made. We used rocks, and we used a velvet pumpkin, and we used some little cement planters from Dollar General, and we made beautiful garlands for my living room. I would love to know which one is your favorite. Please tell me in the comments down below, and I hope you find something to celebrate every day. Have an amazing day. I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye-bye.